Shalom and blessings, family and friends. Welcome back to Just a Dad and a Bible. If you're new to the channel, I'm Gasper, and this message is brought to you by 1 Thessalonians 5:17 Ministries. Today, I wanted to go over something near and dear to my heart, but before I get into it, I wanted to let you guys know who I am. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Gasper, and I am a husband, a father, and a student coming up with my last few MDiv courses. I was born to a Jewish mother and a Catholic father. My parents unfortunately got divorced early in my life, and I was raised in a Reformed semi-Jewish household, if I can even call it that. I thank Hashem, my grandfather on my mother's side. He kept me rooted in Judaism. I went to a private Jewish day school, attended synagogue almost every Shabbat, and celebrated and took part in every feast day commanded by Hashem. I hope you all understand, I'm in no way boasting. I just wanted to let some of you know who I am and my background. Moving on. I found Yeshua when I truly and sincerely opened the scriptures. He did the rest. I am in no way perfect, but I try my hardest to show the one who gave me grace that I am working in every way possible to be obedient to his ways, because I love him and I am thankful for everything he has given me and put in my life. Now, I mention all this because I want to speak on a topic that can get much deeper than the short teaching I am speaking on. Through this channel, my aim is to bridge the gap that divides the Jew and the contemporary Christian. The intended target audience is my family and friends. But if they're not willing to listen, like Yeshua tells us to do, I shake off the dust, move on, and speak to those who are willing to hear the truth. And what I'm asking is that all my brethren who have accepted Yeshua as Lord and follow the commands of the Father to help me bridge that gap. I have heard so many teachings and apologetics that get into huge words and overwhelming debates, yet here's the simplicity of this whole matter. The typical Jew does not accept what comes from their own scriptures and the prophets. The Jewish people believe the Messiah is yet to come. They do not believe that Yeshua is the Messiah for several reasons, but the main reason can solely be hung on this one vital issue. The Messiah who was prophesied in the Torah and the prophets is not the same Messiah the contemporary Christian believes in, teaches about, and preaches on. And if we're all honest with ourselves, we can see there are clearly two different and distinct Messiahs. One from the Tanakh, the Torah, prophets, and writings, and one that came out of a Hellenized Christianity. The average Christian does not accept what they have been told as something that is not found in their Bibles. See, the contemporary Christian continues to believe they do not have to follow the Torah or the commands within because of too many misinterpretations of the New Testament. They believe the Torah was nailed to the cross. They believe grace is some sort of concept that nullifies having to keep Hashem's commands. And what I find to be the worst part of all their reasoning is that many of them use Shaul, not Yeshua, to argue their point, while not knowing exactly what Shaul is talking about. Like I said, many in the contemporary church accept a Hellenized interpretation without even knowing it. Just in case some don't understand what that means, is this. Hellenization is a form of belief that adopts Greek culture, religion, language, and identity into their belief system. And it didn't start with the Christians, funny enough, it started with the Jewish people. Think the Maccabees. Much of the modern day church, without even knowing, follows tradition over the commands of Hashem. Some of that tradition comes in the form of daily routines, belief, and even in, unfortunately, worship. Now, sometimes I can be a bit harsher on my Christian friends, and the reason is simply this. The overwhelming majority of contemporary Christianity follows a Jesus that promotes lawlessness. I always ask many of my Christian friends, who are you imitating? Because it surely isn't the Yeshua of the scriptures. The prophets, Shaul, and Yeshua warn you about those who would come in their own name and break the laws in times and would lead you to lawlessness, Torahlessness. Again, here is the problem for Christians, right? The Jewish people will and should never accept the lawless Jesus promoted in the contemporary church. The word of Hashem, the Father, speaks against Torahlessness to all people, to all times. Jews should and will use Deuteronomy 13. I use Deuteronomy 13, as well as other passages, but Deuteronomy 13 tells all people, in quick summary, that if anyone comes preaching or teaching another gospel than this one you have already been given, they're to be thrown out of the community. That almost sounds like what Shaul said, doesn't it? And Yeshua. Yeshua backs these words of his Father by telling you, the believer, that he never came to abolish the Torah. He came to show you how to live a life that is set apart and righteous according to his Father's commands that have been here since the beginning. There are so many more passages that can be said here, but for simplicity, I mention only these two here. What I'm asking for is for you, the believer, to be an authentic Berean. Check to make sure what your pastor, your teacher, your friend, anything I say, make sure what we tell you is so and lines up with the word in full. No contradictions. The Torah is Hashem's word made flesh in Yeshua. And the Spirit. What about the Spirit? The Spirit guides us to the Torah. Are you being guided to the Torah? If not, you may want to rethink what is guiding you. And finally, to my Jewish family and friends, please understand the Torah is still very valid and in fact to be followed in obedience to our faith, because we love the Father and understand we do not deserve anything because we are sinners and cannot live up to his standard of holiness that he requests of us. It's the whole reason we receive grace. To my Christian friends, please understand Hashem, God, never changes his word in asking us to choose to follow his instructions to us for life eternal. We can obey and imitate the Son or be disobedient and follow some other one. I hope this short teaching was helpful to those of you who have a heart willing to be open, with eyes ready to see and ears ready to hear. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and continue the conversation. Let's really try and reach those who need the gospel. Let us be a light to the nations. Blessings and shalom.